Alright guys, today I'm just going to give you 5 tips that I've discovered that can help you love yourself more. And I'm going to keep it really brief, so we're starting right now. Now, first thing that I want to talk about is that of all the people you're going to actually spend time with on this earth, you're the one you're going to spend time with the most. So you should love yourself, for sure. Of all the people that are going to love you, you should definitely be one of the people that loves you the most because you're the one that you're spending the most time with. And so one of the things that I've always found to help me be happier and love myself a bit more is actually just pushing myself to grow. Always constantly being on the cutting edge of developing the new you, the better you, I think is one of the best ways to actually raise self esteem, confidence, and happiness. I think being stagnant can actually, really cause you to not be as happy as you could be. I think constant growth is probably one of the best things you can do for yourself. So, whether it's reading a book or going to the gym or picking up a new hobby or a new skill or going back to school or learning a new career or just trying to be a better communicator, better relationships, whatever it is, I highly encourage you to constantly be pushing yourself to grow, constantly trying to find something new about yourself, something better, and continuously pushing yourself to be a better you. I think that's one of the simplest ways to become happier, and I think it's actually one of the things that makes life more interesting. So I would definitely recommend that. Start learning about yourself and pushing yourself to grow. And so after that one, I think once you start expanding, you're going to notice that there's a lot of fear and insecurities that keeps you from doing the things that you are interested in doing. And one of the things that I've noticed about myself is that you can actually be your own worst bully, not just your worst critic, but actually a bully in and of itself. If you ever catch yourself telling yourself or comparing yourself to another person and saying, oh, they have this and they're that, I'm not that, I'm not as good as them, therefore I can't. Um, I I would argue that that's actually, you might be borderlining self-bullying there. You wouldn't tell a young child that they can't or they're not good enough. I mean, you shouldn't. Um, and compare it to someone who's older than them, since see them, like see that person, they're so much better than you. You're never gonna be them. Like that would be horrible. That'd be horrible to do that to anybody. You wouldn't tolerate someone doing that to your best friend or your child, but I feel like so often we tolerate ourselves, our own minds, doing that to us. We bully ourselves. We tell ourselves that we're not good enough. We compare ourselves to others and put ourselves down and tell ourselves that we're not worthy of our dreams, and we let the insecurities get in the way. And so if you find really take some time to listen to the thoughts going in your head, and you might find that you're actually being pretty darn mean to yourself, and that's not cool. So I would highly recommend doing some personal reflection and trying to figure that out and making sure that you're not bullying yourself in a sense, if that makes sense. I think it does. And that sort of translates into the next part, is like when you take time to reflect and think on your thoughts and your emotions, is actually take time for self-care. In this world, we're in the rat race and we're all working super, super hard to pay the bills, make ends meet, do laundry, make dinner, and go to work. Barely have time to take a second to breathe. And you have such a busy schedule. I would highly, highly recommend scheduling in time for you, time to do self-care. And that's whatever it is, whether it's eating crackers and cheese and watching Netflix, going to the gym, reading a book, relaxing, staring at the wall and doing nothing. I'd highly, highly recommend actually scheduling time in which you can do something for yourself. And you may have to make a few sacrifices. You might have to delegate different tasks. You might have to change a few things. You might have to give up a few things. But I think in the long run, after everything I've said so far, having time to reflect on you and to relax and just work on yourself, whether it's an art project or a hobby or the gym or, just watching a good TV show that you love and get inspiration from, or reading a good book or anything like that, or spending time with friends, I would highly recommend that you actually schedule that in and make it one of your top priorities, because I think that'll build a cycle of positivity that will help you in every other aspect of your life. And going on with that is, don't live for other people's opinions. because they're not you. They're not in your shoes. They don't know what it's like to be you. So they don't know exactly what it is you need. And so there's actually a really simple thing that there's a simple metric that I use when deciding whose opinions to care about. Has this person put in time and effort into a relationship with you? If the answer is no, you don't need to worry about their opinion. If the answer is yes, then go ahead and consider that opinion, because that's part of a working relationship. So basically, if they're not a relative, a family member, or a loved one, or a friend who has put in time, effort to help you, walk beside you, grow you, really get to know you, then you shouldn't be worrying about their opinions. The only opinions that you should be considering and worrying about are the ones of the people who have invested time in a mutually beneficial, mature relationship with you, and they actually care about you, and they've expressed that, and they've shown it with their actions that they care about you and they're invested with you. Those are the people that you can identify that have your best interest at heart. Whoever they may be, those are the opinions you want to worry about. Everyone else doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. And don't live for their opinions, but those are the only opinions that you should actually listen to and consider, in my opinion. So yeah. And at the end of all that, once you do all that, I would say just double down on the positive. We're all going through tough stuff. I'm publishing this video in the middle of a pandemic, and, hard times are here. We're all going through something negative. So my advice at the end would be, find something that's positive in your life and double down on it. If you have a hobby that brings you joy, do more of it. If you have a friendship that's really, really positive and constructive and is helping you grow, double down on it. Spend more time with that person. Text them more often. If your office environment, if your work environment is really, really good, or you have an opportunity to give even more if you can, of your time, of love, of positivity. Spend more time with the people you love. Double down on whatever it is that is positive in your life, and I think that'll empower you to actually deal with the negative a lot more. And so those are the 5 steps that I got for you guys today. Definitely check out the description down below. I got a podcast, all sorts of social media. I'm making a Discord where we can chat and just hang out. Love to see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.